If you're an Etsy seller, you've probably seen something like this pop up on your dashboard. Earlier this month, Etsy launched a new program called Share and Save, which, in their words, is a means to help expand our reach and grow our businesses. I've seen a lot of discussion all over the internet, and people are wondering if they should opt in or not. On one side, there are people who are actually praising Etsy, saying that it's nice that they're finally doing something to help sellers. While on the other side, there are people who are saying that it's a trap, and they're staying as far away as possible and opting out as soon as they can. So which is it? In this video, we'll dig deeper into the topic and try to find the answer. If you're new to the channel, my name's Tim, and I have a sticker shop on Etsy and Shopify. I have over 6,000 sales, and I've made over 6 figures doing this as a side hustle. On this channel, I make videos documenting my journey of entrepreneurship and sharing everything that I've learned. So if you're into that sort of thing, feel free to subscribe. Okay, so first things first, what is this program? If you read Etsy's article introducing it, you'll see that they're explaining it as a way to save on fees if you're able to drive traffic to your own shop. After you join the program, you'll be able to generate trackable links that you can then share with your customers on social media or wherever. And if you're able to get a direct sale off of those links, Etsy will give you a 4% refund off of the total order as a way to save on Etsy fees. So 4%, how big of a deal is this? To put things in perspective, in April of last year, Etsy announced that they would be increasing their transaction fees from 5% to 6.5%. That's a 1.5 percentage point increase, and to put things bluntly, it didn't go over well. There was a huge backlash from sellers, with over 20,000 of them organizing a strike where they would be putting their shops on vacation mode for an extended period of time. When the time came, I'm sure some of those shops did actually go on strike, and I'm sure some of them probably didn't. But it was all over the news for a certain period of time, and it was a big deal, but Etsy didn't budge at all. Etsy CEO Josh Silverman even came out and defended the decision, saying that it was still super affordable. So the question here is, if they didn't reduce it then, why are they reducing fees now? Is it out of the goodness of their hearts? I mean, if you look at the logo that Etsy has made to introduce this program, it's almost as if they're giving us 4% of their hearts. Well, I'm not Etsy, and despite what some people think in the comments, I don't work for Etsy either, so take this with a grain of salt. But Etsy is a publicly traded company, and publicly traded companies don't do things out of the goodness of their hearts. They do things to increase shareholder value. And if I were to guess, this is just a part of their overall marketing strategy for this year. Ever since the pandemic, Etsy has been spending an ungodly amount of money on marketing. You can really see the increase here looking at this chart. They went from spending $215 million in 2019 to $710 million in 2022. That's just 3 years. They've been experimenting with high budget commercials over the holidays, advertising on platforms through offsite ads, and now it looks like they're using some of that budget to turn their sellers into marketers as well. Which, if you think about it, does make sense because sellers are probably the most invested users they have on the platform. But just because that's their plan, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for sellers. It is possible for something to be beneficial to two parties at the same time. On one side, Etsy is hoping to get more potential customers driven to their website. And on our side, we get to enjoy lower fees. It's a win-win. If you're looking at it objectively, Etsy already has some of the lowest fees when compared to other online marketplaces like eBay or Amazon. And if you're already driving traffic to your own Etsy page anyways, this could mean even more savings and more money in your pocket. Also, it's pretty simple to use. If you're spending your time posting content on social media like Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest, all you have to do is change the link that goes to your website and you can enjoy lower fees. So what's with the skepticism, and why are there some people on forums and discussion boards saying that this program is actually a trap? So there are a couple things that come to mind when trying to come up with potential reasons why this might be a bad idea. And it all stems from the fact that Etsy likes to aggressively promote competition between its sellers. I talked about this a bit in my last video, but if you're an Etsy seller, all you have to do is go on your page and click on a listing. And if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see that Etsy puts a bunch of competing products and listings and stores right on that page. So imagine this, you're a small store that sells cute crochet animals, and you spend all of your time taking pictures, creating content for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, hoping to drive people onto your Etsy store to buy some of your products. But when they get onto your page and they scroll down, they see a bunch of other cute crocheted animals as well from your competing sellers, maybe even a drop shipper. and they buy one of those instead. In this scenario, I can't really decide what's worse. The fact that you spent all this work getting a customer onto your page to have them buy a competitor product, or the fact that even with this share and save program, you wouldn't even get a cut of that sale. Also, as many of you know, Etsy likes to make changes to their website all the time. As of today, they're already putting 12 different competitor products right on your listing page, which I think is already a lot. But what happens if one day they're putting an infinite scroll of competitor products on every listing page? This scenario could become even more common. The second thing to remember here is that customers that buy things off of you on Etsy aren't really your customers, they're Etsy's customers. This is another thing that I've talked about a lot in my previous videos. Maybe you have a sale going on, or maybe you're getting ready to launch a set of new products and you want to let your customers know about it. One of the most effective ways a business can communicate with their customers is through an email list. But if you ever try to do this with your Etsy customers, you notice that there's no easy way to do this. The only way to get a list of your emails from Etsy orders is to use a third-party program, which will go through all of your orders and scrape them for you and export them into a list. But the catch here is that using these third-party programs is actually against Etsy's terms of service. And communicating with your customers in any way other than Etsy messages could be considered spam and get you kicked off the platform. So if you're spending a lot of time and energy trying to drive customers onto your Etsy page, you might want to think again, because what you're actually doing in a way is you're doing all of this work only to give your customers over to Etsy, which could be the reason why people are referring to this program as some kind of a trap. So that leads us to the most important question of the day, and that's whether or not you should opt into this program or not. And if you're asking me, it all boils down to another question, and that's, do you have a separate website where you can process orders? Like a Shopify or a WooCommerce or Squarespace or something similar? Because if you do, the answer is pretty easy to me, and that's you shouldn't opt into this program. Unless I'm missing something, I can't really see any reason to join this program. If you have your own website, it's likely that your fees are much lower than this anyways, even after the 4% refund that Etsy gives you. And you don't have to worry about your customers seeing competing products or having a hard time getting their email after the fact. But if you don't have your own website and you only sell on Etsy and nowhere else, then this program is an easy opt-in for me. There's really nothing to lose. The program is pretty straightforward, the links are easy to use, and honestly, you're getting a huge discount on Etsy's transaction fees. I actually have to hand it to Etsy for the 4%, because with the regular fee being 6.5%, that means that you're saving on over 60% of your total fees, which is actually huge. They could have been a lot more stingy, but this is a really nice amount for sellers that have been driving traffic to their shop all this time anyways. My only suggestion for the people in this scenario though, the ones that don't have their own website, is to really prioritize that, because you never know what Etsy's going to do. Like I said before, Etsy actually likes to promote competition between its sellers. One day you could open your shop and you could see hundreds of listings from competing stores right on your page. Or maybe they could even change the algorithm to try to spread out sales between stores in a specific niche. When you're on Etsy, there's just so much out of your control, and the only way to get it back is to have your own website and to drive your own customers to that website. But with all that being said, I'm really curious to hear what you guys think of the program. Is there something about it that I missed? Do you guys think that this is a step in the right direction for Etsy? Or do you guys think that this is some kind of sneaky trap and that we shouldn't fall for it? Let me know down in the comments. If you like this video and you're still looking to get your first 100 sales on Etsy, you can click this video over here. It's a step-by-step guide to getting your first 100 sales, which I know can be a really hard milestone for a lot of stores to get over. If not, thanks so much for watching guys. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.